lovely spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And we're going to be sharing your homegrown horrors with you today.
Indeed we are. I'm excited. If you hear some barking in the background, someone just knocked on our door like right when we were about to start the podcast, so that is exactly why. But thank you to everyone who is listening, and thank you to everyone who is watching us live at youtube.com/scaryish and twitch.tv/scaryish podcast. We always appreciate the folks who decide to participate with us live, and it's really fun. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single week, except for next week, because that's going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because Robin and I got last-minute invites to E3, so it's been kind of crazy because we scheduled the Winchester Mystery House meetup. By the way, there's still tickets available if you want to meet us on Sunday, June 9th, which is this Sunday. For June 9th, we're like, cool, that's good. Then we realized, oh no, that's the weekend before E3. And then we got invited to the Bethesda event, which is in LA. At the exact same time, we're going to be doing the Winchester Mystery House meetup. So we're like, the spooky friends are more important.
Yeah.
And then we booked all our accommodations and our flight back to Vegas. And then like 2 days ago, we got invited to E3. So now we got to figure out our way back to LA after going to San Jose, then back to Vegas. It's going to be a very busy week. The point of the story is that you'll see us on Thursday instead. Shout out to Jamie Boone, who just subscribed for the 5th month.
Thank you so much.
We really, really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who has followed us. We have a lot of new people in the chat, and it's super exciting to see. So thank you for joining us, all you first-timers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's great. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Let us know what you think of the stories, and then obviously participate in chat. The chat kind of goes off on its own thing while we're reading a lot of times, and you guys talk about the craziest shit, but it's a really fun time, so we encourage you to do it. And like Robin said, we're going to be reading your stories, which are called homegrown horrors. Robin, what's a homegrown horror?
So homegrown horrors are these paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, coincidental, hilariously, horrifyingly coincidental stories that you folks email us, message us, send us that we're able to share with the rest of our spooky friends. So it's pretty cool.
We really appreciate that you folks choose to share those with us. And if you'd like to do so, go to scarish.com and click on contact us. You can submit that form that way and it comes directly to us. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. You can tweet at us at scarishpod or Instagram message us, which is at scarishpodcast. So we look forward to it. And 143 AM just hosted us, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
Hosting basically means their channel is now displaying what we're doing, so that's super cool of you, and we truly do appreciate when folks do that. So Thank you, 143 AM. I gotta say, so the last month in Vegas, the month of May, was like we actually had spring. We had rain, we had cold wind, we had weather that wasn't just hot. But like as soon as June hit, holy balls, has it been hot. It was like 105 today driving home from work.
It's hot.
This room is so hot. I'm going to sweat balls this whole episode.
And I'm in a sweater.
So it's going to be a little bit rough. So for those of you
my
listening.
My nose is already sweating.
Right? I can just feel it on my forehead. It's going to be so shiny. So for those of you listening, you're not going to notice anything. But for those of you watching, you're going to be like, is he going to die by the end of the show? So hopefully not. We didn't decide who's going to go first before the show. So do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first because my first one is going to be incredibly short. So we can go to mine, go straight into yours. It'll be great.
Cool. We have a couple of them that are going to be short this episode too. So just be prepared for that.
All right. So this one is from Kitty. And the subject is the fan that got away. I don't know if it means fan, like blowing air fan, or if it's fan. We'll find out.
I'm sure we're about to find out.
Hello. So here's my paranormal experience, or another one of my paranormal experiences. And this took place at my grandparents' house, which is a really old house in the Philippines. When I was in middle school, me and two friends were asleep in the living room one night when I woke up feeling really cold. So I decided to turn off the fan. It was really dark, so as I was reaching out to turn it off, I realized that it was not even on and it wasn't a fan. It was a freaking child standing in the corner of the couch now in front of me. I almost touched it because I thought it was a fan.
I like that it says it. That's so funny.
It smiled at me like the Momo smile, which for those that are going to be watching this later, Momo is a meme during this time period.
Oh yeah, you're dating this now for people who might be listening to this in the future that are like, what's Momo?
It's just this meme of a creepy looking statue someone made.
Some artist made it, yeah.
It was like pointy face, big eyes.
It became a thing because people were saying like, someone made this thing and put it into YouTube videos and it's convincing kids to kill themselves, when it was almost 100% fake. Yeah. And it was just like the snake eating its own tail, like the fear being spread by people who didn't even know. So there you go. We've time-stamped this now.
Yep. So it smiled at me like a Momo smile, and then ran away. I screamed my shit out. Friends woke up and didn't see the kid, and it was really scary. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Yeah, seriously, that's creepy as shit. Like, it wasn't. I thought you were gonna be like it was a kid in the corner going like, "Ooh," and oscillating.
But maybe it was cold because
the kid was there.
It was a ghost.
Yeah, could be, or it could just be some creepy child wander into your house, which is kind of worse. Let's be real.
I don't know.
So it's hard to really tell there. Okay, quick shout outs. Shout out to Georgina Moreno, who just subscribed on YouTube. Shout out to that kid Carlos Vlogs, who just subscribed on YouTube. Shout out to this Gray Coast, who just resubscribed for the 4th month over on Twitch.
Thank you so much.
And shout out to Jangmi, who just hosted us as well on their personal channel. Thank you so much for that. You guys are amazing. We love all of you. So because that was short, do you want me to roll into mine?
Yeah, just roll into yours.
Okay, I can do that. So my first one subject is homegrown. And it starts out like this. Hi, you two and listeners. Hello.
Hello.
And all the listeners, just shout out hello wherever you are right now. I'm glad I found this podcast via Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. After I was done with We're Alive from podcast 1, I was desperate to find something else scary, fictional or not. Anyway, it's been only a couple of weeks since I discovered the Scarish podcast and still have so many episodes to listen to.
Yay for backlogs!
Right? However, this has inspired me to submit a couple of stories. Good. I'm glad. They are short, and I have a longer one I will submit later that is a bit heavier, and I have to reach out to my brother for his permission first. That's another thing, too. We always encourage you to send stories that might be friends or families, but, like, kind of get their permission, too, if it's, like, very personal details. If it's just something that was, like, spooky, you don't really need to worry about it, but if it's something that might be deeply personal, then definitely, like, check with them first to see if it's cool to talk about it. Like, I've done that a couple of times. So the email continues. Anyways, the first one is when I was a little girl. I was outside in the yard playing. We had 3.5 acres. It's a lot of land.
That is a lot of land.
I grew up on 1 acre, so that's 3.5 times bigger than the land I grew up on.
Yeah, we only had like a quarter. I think we had like 0.25 or something,
wow.
And I can't imagine having 3. That's insane.
This is 3.5. But I wasn't far from our back sliding glass door when I heard a little girl, I'm guessing around my age, say hello right next to me. It's probably the same child from the first story. I looked around and no one was there. I, being shocked and scared, booked it to the back door and back into my house. I never heard anything again. Sometimes I wonder if it was a spirit who was lonely and trying to reach out to a fellow young child. Who knows? I don't know. I have phantom noises sometimes, and I just tell myself I'm going crazy. And I think when you get older, like sometimes you just tell yourself, like, oh, I must be going crazy, or I must have heard something. Because like sometimes you hear someone say your name, or you hear someone call out to you, and then you're like, oh, there's nothing there. Or you ask someone, like, did you call me? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh, I must be going crazy. Maybe it's something else, but you don't really like to think about that, especially the older you get. You're just like, oh, it's nothing, no big deal.
Sometimes I hear music, but not like contemporary music, like old school music.
Is it like brah?
No.
Brah? That means you're about to get the kick, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's about to pull you out, which
I would be okay with
I
Joseph Gordon-Levitt pulling me out, hottie hottie boom balati.
True story. A friend of the show, Mike, who I absolutely love, he has met Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He has some of his music on one of the albums Joseph Gordon-Levitt produced. I don't know. It's just super cool. I love Mike, and it's such a good story. So, okay, I'm going to keep going, though. The second one. I was laying in my bed, all cozy under my covers, with Candyman playing. Ha. Shout out to
like
Oscar
Gwen
Bello.
Stefani?
Candyman, I'm guessing the movie. Shout out to Oscar Bello over on YouTube who subscribed, and shout out
Christina Aguilera. Never mind.
Shout out to Shade Siren who followed over on Twitch. The lights were on, though. I didn't make it that far into the movie when I felt a hand touch my thigh under the covers. I freaked out and jumped out of the bed and stopped the movie and haven't even tried to finish it since then.
I would freak out, dude.
Yeah, I love scary horror movies, but I still don't want to watch this movie. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Keep on creeping on. Stay awesome. Much love, Emily. P.S. You may read this on the podcast if you choose. It's a pretty good thing to put a little bit higher, but that's okay. My mom totally read this and checked it, so thank you for sending that. Totally appreciated it. I don't know if I would... I think it's because of the content of that if you felt a hand touch your thigh, you're like, never again. I wonder if you were watching a comedy, if you would kind of just brush it off.
If it's in the dark too, I would think like, is it an intruder trying to like grab me?
And you're like underneath your covers in your bed. Shout out to 6 Foot Panda who just subscribed over on YouTube. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you for joining us.
It's a little confusing between Twitch and YouTube because a subscription is on Twitch is
equal to a follow on...
Right.
Oh yeah, no. A follow on Twitch equals a subscription on YouTube.
Right.
Yes. Because like YouTube has these crazy requirements where you have to have like 1,000 followers, like 4,000 hours streamed, and a bunch of other stuff, and at least a year of your channel before you can actually monetize in any way, shape, or form. And in the meantime, they just play ads all over your shit and collect for free for a year, unless you're like you blow the roof off of it, and then they just like wave that stuff really quickly. Twitch is different. Twitch is very like accommodating. They're like, if you do okay if 3 people watch you for a month, whatever, you can make some money. It's like really straightforward, and it's been like super, super helpful. But no matter what, thank you to everyone who has subscribed or
thank
followed
you so much.
Wherever you're doing it at. We appreciate every single one of you. So yeah, those are 2 pretty good stories to start out. So thank you for sending those in. We appreciate it. Okay, so before we move on to our next story, I did want to mention that one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done is the superstition episode. And we got to cover it again because there's so many superstitions that we just didn't hit, and so many people put amazing stuff in our Facebook group after that episode. And one of the things we brought up is like rituals before you fly. And Jennifer Aniston has her cross the threshold with the left foot, tap the plane twice with the right hand.
Yeah.
And she said it's always worked. And for those of you who follow the news, you know a couple of months ago, like her plane almost crashed with her and Courtney Cox on it. And so, like, I'm really curious. Like, I think she was on Ellen or something recently, and someone messaged us on Instagram, and it was about, like, who she called first or who she texted first while the plane was having problems.
Wasn't it?
I don't know who it was. But just thinking about that, I'm like, did someone ask her if she forgot to do it or if she did it the wrong way and screwed up her ritual? Because if she didn't do it, and it was, like, the first time she hadn't done it in forever, I feel that's just straight up superstition confirmed. And, like, we know what she needs to do to not crash on an airplane from now on. So, who knows? All right, I'm 1 in. You are next, correct?
Yep.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right, so this next one goes a little something like this. So it goes exactly something like this. Hey, guys. Hey, my name's Britt, and I just found y'all about 3 weeks ago. Thank you, Spotify. I'm completely obsessed. I debated sending this in because should you choose to read it on the podcast, totally welcome to, but I have to admit, it's not as good as some of the other stuff that I've heard. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, don't ever feel bad about that. If you want to share, we definitely want to listen to it.
It'll be like 6 years before I actually hear it because I'm only on episode 16. You'd be surprised how fast you can get through all these episodes. But I wanted to write in and tell you that I think you're awesome, so I figured, why the hell not?
Thank you.
So a little backstory. Growing up, my mom and I were always super close. It's worth noting that she was a little cray-cray because that's what I say to tell people they're crazy too. I say cray-cray.
It's true. I've heard it quite a bit.
She was a little cray-cray because I was her only kid, and some suspected undiagnosed mental issues as well. So she was insanely overprotective of me, and truthfully, I always believed that she was my only real friend. My dad left her when I was like 24-ish because, again, sometimes she rode the crazy train, which only brought us closer as I still lived with her and we were really all each other had. So it was pretty horrific when we found out that she had cancer. Jeebus.
Oh, wow.
That's rough. The illness took her super quick. I think within a year of the first initial diagnosis, she was gone.
It's kind of crazy that we're reading this one because I just got done doing the toxic lady.
Yeah.
Gloria Ramirez, who passed away, and she had cervical cancer. And when I read about it, I was like, I don't want to get emotional, so I just want to give shout outs to some of the cancer survivors that I know. But like, it's just super sad, man. And it's definitely scary to think about. So
we think at some point during the last few weeks, she had a couple strokes, which left her confused and unable to communicate with us very well, but I will never forget. The last coherent thing she said to me was that she wanted to know I was going to be okay. She made me promise that I would be okay, and even though I thought it was the biggest fucking lie in the world, I told her that I would be. And it was maybe a week or 2 later that she was gone. I can still remember even now, almost 7 years later, sitting in the room with her when she took her last breath and screaming for her because she was gone. That is
really
hard.
Sad.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I didn't know how I was going to get by, but even after passing away, she checks up on me. 2 of the most prominent instances are as follows. It wasn't long after she passed away that I was sitting in my bedroom in the back of the house, dicking around online. I had pictures of the 2 of us on my computer desk, and while I was sitting there, I got the distinct impression that I wasn't alone. I glanced up, and I swear to God, I saw her reflection in the damn picture frame behind me, which, looking back now, okay, fine, I know it was her, but at the time, I noped the fuck out of that room and eventually out of the house, as it was where she passed away. The next was when I was giving birth to my daughter. I will always remember laying in a hospital bed completely exhausted and totally over the whole thing when I smelled her near me. She always smelled like eternity perfume with a slight hint of cigarette smoke, and I just remember that so vividly from that night that I know she was there, helping to welcome her grandchild into the world. I suck at titles, and I also suck at closing out emails, so that's pretty much it. If you do decide to read this on the podcast, you're welcome to, and you're awesome. I'm sorry it's so long. If you don't, well, I don't fucking blame you, pals. This shit is rambly. Either way, thanks for being so awesome, and I can't wait to listen to more. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Britt. That was really personal.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool that people smell things sometimes, like memories, you know?
Memories, I think, are attached strongest to olfactory senses, which is your smell. Like, you can just remember, like, a place and a time just from sniffing, like, something that you smelled back during that time.
Right.
And I gotta say,
that's a really distinct smell, too.
I gotta say, Britt, I think you're a little bit of a liar here, because you said that it wasn't going to be good, and it's probably one of the best emails we ever
it's really good.
So thank you for sending that, and I'm sure your mom is very proud of you.
That was just such a backhanded, like...
That's the only kind of compliments I give, so I hope you enjoyed it. Someone at my work the trainer used to say, like, it sucks, but most of the time in life, you can't really get something good without something bad, so everything's a slap and a kiss. So I subscribe to the slap and a kiss. So hope you enjoyed it. We definitely enjoyed reading your email, so thank you. Even though it's deeply personal, I think a lot of people really identify with stuff like this, and I think it's very important that people send stuff like this in. I really do, because, like, someone's going to hear this, and they're going to be going through that time, not to the point yet where they've been reminded or had an experience like that, and they won't feel as alone and, like, as empty. So seriously, thank you for sending that. We truly appreciate it. So I'm going to move on into my second one, and this one subject is Story from a Dear Friend from the Philippines, and it is from the following, Al-Habib Akbar. Pretty sure I fucked up your first name because I always call you Akbar. First of his name, heir to the Mughal Empire and teacher of children, which is just the best name we've had since we started this podcast. Shout out to Chessicat98, who just resubscribed for the 9th month. It's amazing how much, the 8th month, and we appreciate all the support. And the email starts out like this. Hello, Adam and Robin. Hello.
Hello.
Robin's over there reading stream chat.
Sorry, I'm like reading chat at the same time.
You're trying to figure out what the answer is to all these like dad jokes we're getting in stream chat right now.
Thank you, Captain Fake Guy, for subscribing.
Shout out to Captain Fake Guy who just subscribed with Amazon Prime. Robin, go ahead before I get into the email and tell people if they have an Amazon Prime account, how they can give us free money.
All right. If you folks have an Amazon Prime account, or you have your parents' Amazon Prime account, you know they're not going to join Twitch, right? So you take their Amazon Prime account, link your Twitch to their Amazon Prime account, and then you get a free Twitch subscription to whatever channel you guys want every 30 days. And hopefully you guys will choose us to be that subscription. If you go to twitch.amazon.com, pretty sure, it'll show you guys all the steps. You get a bunch of cool stuff with Twitch Prime. It's great.
If you play video games, you get a ton of free shit with Twitch Prime, like free skins, free maps.
I mean, I've gotten free Overwatch loot boxes and stuff like that. So,
and it's literally just free. You just got to connect things, and then if you join us once a month, you can just click on subscribe. It gives us $5 of Amazon's dollars. Doesn't cost you a thing. So it's good stuff. All right.
So go do that.
I'm going to go ahead and jump into this email, and it continues. Been listening for a while now, and this will be the first story I send, though I'm sad that it won't be my own. I'm actually writing this while I'm watching a current live stream, April 4th, different time zone. Let's begin. I'm pretty sure when we start at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Akbar, it's 9 a.m. So that's dedication. Onwards from now.
The sun is up here, too. I mean, right now, at 7 o'clock, it's strange.
Yeah. Onwards from now, this will be the story my friend told me. And he puts it in quotes. I was around 6 or 7 years old, playing in my room, and all was normal. The time of day was close enough to sunset, but still quite bright outside. Also, I was alone in the house while my family was in the secondary kitchen. Secondary kitchen, I need one of those.
Sounds fancy.
Right? Then I heard a sound in between a psst and lips popping like, it didn't say like this, I just wanted to do it because it's fun.
Maybe
under my
do
bed.
like lips popping and then a psst, like a psst.
Like
this
that?
sounds like Between the Lions right now. Just
I feel like I'm
saying.
about to start freestyling if I keep doing it.
Oh, wooka wooka.
So this noise is coming from under his bed. Being a moron, I go to check it out. I look under the bed and then, in parentheses it says, he took a long pause. He met all of our gazes.
I was like, what?
Also, side tangent space here in like a mark. We're not going to take that side tangent. Side note, he is regarded as a great speaker. I often use him as an example to my students. And now we're going to get to the result. Nothing. There was nothing under the bed. I shrugged it off then. Again, this time from the closet, I follow after it again, and again, there is nothing. Then again I hear it, this time down the hall. Oh God, it's leading you somewhere.
No.
Down the hall. I go outside, but this time, as soon as I was in the hall, it sounded again in the living room, then outside, then under the car, then in a nearby tree. Then finally the bodega, in parentheses, in my language it means shed. I'm sorry I had to translate this to English, no worries. This time I was afraid, really afraid of the bodega. The thing is, why did the door open when I
No.
looked at it? Oh, I got cold
Nope.
chills. And it's like 90 degrees in this room.
If things are like moving on their own, as soon as you look at it, it's a horror movie. You're in a horror movie and you need to do everything the people in the horror movies do. Like the opposite of what they do, because you don't want to die, because that's horrible. Don't do it.
So basically, if this wasn't a pop and a psst, it would be a red balloon, like leading him to this bodega. Because this is straight up like it.
Yeah.
So...
Like leading to the haunted, that big, huge abandoned house, yeah.
It finishes out with, sorry, I'm not good at writing. Thanks for memory. I think you did pretty well. Thanks for reading. You can share on the podcast. I love the podcast, and I love that Adam has a job. Oh, thank you.
Aww.
Me too. Smiley face, and I'm going to try and say this right. I've said it before. I'm practicing. I was practicing before the show because I saw it was a sign-off. Assalamu alaikum. So, yeah,
Aw,
I
cool.
think I nailed that. So
I think it's alaikum.
I think it's alaikum. All I know is I fucked up your first name, and I apologize for that, Akbar. But thank you for sending that in. That was really fucking good. It gave me cold chills in a really hot room. So that's really, really creepy. Right on.
So, for the last email of the night, this one is titled Shadow Man.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Shadow Man's kind of a scary subject, not going to lie.
Hello again, Robin and Adam. Hello again.
Hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you wanted to say it, so I stole it
I
from
like
you.
that song. Okay. Back again to tell you another one of my scariest stories. It took place in my old house here in South Texas. My senior year of high school, I was having a new friend and her boyfriend over for the first time. While giving her a tour of the house, we got on the subject of the heavy negative energy that has surrounded the house since we moved into it. That's frightening.
Right?
I explained to her that we bought it when it was first being built. After some exploring in the newly developing neighborhood, I had noticed some extremely old gravestones between the houses from the late 1800s. I'm pretty sure that our whole street was built on an old cemetery.
Get the fuck out of here.
So it's pretty much like you're living in the poltergeist.
Well, the thing is, they do move cemeteries, but they usually take the bodies with them. Sometimes they don't, and that's when poltergeist shit happens.
Yeah, but if you're building all these houses and you're leaving stones, like gravestones or grave sites
Then you're clearly
in
not
the
moving
middle,
anything.
Yeah, you're just building straight on top of people.
Okay, so your place is super haunted is what we're gathering at this point.
After a tour of the first floor, we made our way up to the second, which contained 5 bedrooms and a large open entertainment room. The sun had just set behind the house, leaving the upstairs eerily dark. I told her that my room and the game room in particular were where most people felt uneasy, like they were being watched from somewhere. As we hit the top step, she started to hesitate, saying she wasn't sure she wanted to hang out up there. I would too. I'd be like, haunted? I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, when you tell people, like, people feel uneasy here, and then you start taking them to those
Yeah.
rooms, I'd be like, I'm good, dog. Let's go somewhere else.
Her skeptical boyfriend rolled his eyes and pushed her forward. He really wanted to play those games, man. I continued on about different experiences my friends had had as she inspected family portraits on the wall. That's when we heard a small shuffle coming from my bedroom. Jolting her a little, she yelled, "No, no, no. What is that? What was that?" I told her, "It's probably just the house relaxing. Come on, I'll show you." God.
The classic line you say to tell yourself it's not ghosts.
And this is where I murder you.
Wow.
As she rounded the corner and peered into the doorway, she nearly jumped out of her clothes, screamed, and took off down the stairs. Looking in a split second later, after her, a small light from the neighboring house seeped in through the window, illuminating the silhouette of a tall man. Also being able to see this shadow person, her boyfriend lost all color in his face and followed close behind. I ran down to catch up to them. Just to laugh hysterically between breaths, the ghost she swore she saw... Okay, the ghost she swore she saw... Oh my goodness, tongue twister. The ghost she swore she saw was actually a 6-foot ultra-realistic cardboard cutout of Taylor Lautner.
That dude is not 6 feet tall. I'm just saying.
But it's the board is 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, if it was an actual size one, she probably wouldn't have been scared.
2 years prior, during the Twilight craze, every picture and piece of merch had him without a shirt, which had quickly become a joke between another classmate and I. So when he found this cutout fully clothed, he knew it would be the perfect gag gift. And boy, was it ever. Out of the corner of your eye, he looked just like a live human being. I could place him in inconspicuous places and wait for someone to stumble upon him. So needless to say, she was livid and refused to come back. But here's the scary part of it. I hadn't placed him there.
Oh, shit.
After being fed up with the jump scares, my mom had thrown him to the back of a coat closet a year prior. I'm not sure who put him there, but it was probably the most perfectly timed placement and made for the best jump scare I have ever seen. Maybe the ghost just wanted a little laugh of their own. And that's my story. But before I end my email, I just wanted to give an exciting update since my post on Discord about me being stuck in a bad spot at my job. After all the advice everyone gave, I decided to give it another shot and took my concerns straight to the next level of management.
Hell yeah.
And I got a promotion.
Boom.
They didn't type boom. We just say that.
We're just very proud of you in unison.
They even gave me more of a pay raise than the one I requested and submitted me into the management training system. This is seriously the best community of people I've had the pleasure of knowing. So thank you, everyone. I hope to get to meet you all someday when we do our big Texas meetup. Keep on creeping on, you gal pal Val.
Well, Val, you're pretty badass.
Yeah,
not
that
gonna
is
lie.
awesome.
Sometimes, like, people try and keep you down, and when someone sees, like, this person's not going to tolerate it, they're being professional, and they're definitely the type of person that we want to be in a leadership position. They're just like, cool, like, we're going to do it. So you've earned that. That is all you. And our community is awesome because it has people like you. So thank you for that. It's absolutely hilarious that you have a cardboard cutout of Taylor Lautner that scared the shit out of someone. I would like to think that the ghost was trying to move it to their dumpster, but got caught and just, like, stopped and, like, set it down really fast, and then you guys walked in on them. So I was just going to say, if I was a ghost, I'd be trying to throw it in the garbage.
Maybe it's haunted by the ghost of Taylor Lautner's acting career.
Boom. That's a good joke.
Oh, that just popped into my head. I'm great. I'm hilarious. I'm good at this.
Isn't he, like, the only guy Taylor Swift dumped?
Yeah.
Like, she gets dumped by everyone else, but she was like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of sad. I mean, she wrote a song about him, though.
He's probably a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I hear he's not in shape anymore, though.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him being a little chubster. Like, not super fat. He's just a little bit chubby, but it was like the in a relationship, not in a relationship, and it was like him chubby and then him, like, in Twilight.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I identify with that shit for sure.
All right. I identify with it, too. But I just think it's super hilarious that your friend's like, I see that it's Taylor Lautner, and that scares me even more. I'm not coming back.
Right,
Thanks.
not going back. So this is true. I do this in my head. I've actually never done this, but this is something I've thought of doing, and you can do it. If you're a person like me who is in pretty good shape at one point in your life.
Okay, I was going to say.
And then got kind of fat, and you might be fat now, and you're like, I have confidence issues every now and then. I'm comfortable with who I am, but every now and then I just look at myself and I feel like shit. What you can do is take a picture of yourself now, and then take one of your old pictures and do a side-by-side and, like, post it on your Instagram and say, like, all it takes is a little bit of hard work and dedication to turn everything around. And people just instantly assume that you've lost all that weight again. And they say the nicest fucking things to you. And I'm just saying, like, every now and then, like, turn it around on people. So there you go. Also, quick shout out. This is coming out on the 7th. On the 9th of June, we're going to be at the Winchester Mystery House. But shout out to Mariana. Thank you for being an amazing listener and
so
friend.
Much.
And thank you for marrying my best friend in the whole wide world. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's
you
your
guys
birthday.
are
so
great.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Thank you so much for being awesome and
Amazing
being so
friends.
Supportive and just
Yeah, seriously.
like
it means a lot, and we love you. So happy birthday to you, and we'll see you in September. So just wanted to put that out there.
We're seeing them in August.
Oh, yeah, we'll see you in August at that other wedding. But yeah, see you in September. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the final email of the show. And this one's subject is OLOH, which I don't know if that's like the name of a cryptid, but I hope to find out within this. And it says, hello from Utah. Hello.
Hello.
From Las Vegas. My name is Christina, and in parentheses, Christina, because it's spelled differently. Or you guys can call me Tina, Tynna. I've been binging all of your podcasts on Spotify, in parentheses, hella shout out to Spotify, since you guys are the best thing it's ever suggested. That makes us feel good.
That does make me feel really
unless
good.
it's suggested like a bunch of garbage, and you're like, well, you're just better than garbage. I found you while I was obsessed with the Skinwalker legend and love your take on the Skinwalker Ranch, which, yikes, I didn't realize was in Utah, but is luckily very far to the east from where I am. I also couldn't help but giggle at Robin's pronunciation of Toole, when she covered the old Thule Hospital. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it.
Is it Tool or Thule? Tuel?
For future reference, it's pronounced Tooilla. So,
Tooilla.
Tooilla.
Oh, okay.
All I can say is that you
That's
two are amazing.
That's
and
the first time anyone's ever said anything about
Yeah.
it. So I'm really happy someone knew what it was actually called.
Yeah. All I can say is that you two are amazing and have made my work days a million times better. I constantly find myself trying to stifle my laughter at work, and as I've been dealing with some tough times lately, it's been a great pick-me-up. Good.
That's really nice.
That's amazing. I'm super happy to hear that. Also, I just want to toss this out there. If this is anyone's first episode, We try with the pronunciations as best we can. We realize we're going to get it wrong. We apologize for it, and we insist that people correct us. We don't insist people shit on us for not getting it right. We know we're not going to get it right.
We don't know. So we would just like someone to say, oh, just so you guys know, this is the actual pronunciation.
And we have guides to let us know. Like, Sam is our biggest guide for pronunciations of things that she knows how to say correctly, and she'll basically send us...
She posted a video on Facebook. It was
videos.
great.
She'll send us lists like, here's all the things that you guys got wrong, like, just to help us out, and we totally appreciate that. So if we ever mispronounce your name or something and you know how it's supposed to be said, let us know, and then just understand we weren't trying to offend anyone. All right, gonna get back to the email. I've been thinking about writing this email lately, and I was recently listening to your Storytime episode 46. I had a similar experience to one of your stories, in parentheses, the story with the Ouija board. Fuck Ouija boards.
Yeah. No Ouija boards.
We just had a picture from someone.
So didn't someone get one?
Colt got one, and he posted it in our Scary Spooky Friends group, and I'm so paranoid about Ouija boards. Like, I didn't even click like on the post, and I like every single post because I was like, the Ouija board will know. And then anyone who was like, throw it away, I clicked like on their comments because I was like, I think I'm going to save his life by clicking like on the right things. So obviously that's not going to happen. It goes on to say, I grew up religious, in parentheses, Mormon, as most locals of Utah do, and was having a very, very spiritually testing time in high school. It was probably around 11 o'clock at night when I was avidly praying for answers. I hadn't been much for spiritual confirmations, but I was desperate for answers. As I was close to finishing my desperate pleas with the divine powers above, I heard someone say my name. I had heard it being said in my right ear, but the thing was, I only heard it in my mind. The voice was unlike any I had heard. It was a combination of male voices, deep, gravelly, sensual, squeaky, and yes, demonic. I don't think I had ever shit myself so fast in a moment. I continued my prayer and ended the night on a good note, but I could hear the voice reverberating in my head. Cut to 2 years later, during a drunk night at home with some friends, which turned dark as one friend with severe depression had a little too much to drink. They began hitting themselves and verbally degrading themselves, as well as commenting on how much they wanted to die or kill themselves. That's sad, and I've been around stuff like that before, and all you can do, you don't have to try and fix someone, just kind of be there for them.
Yeah.
And it goes so far for them to know they're just not alone, especially in those really dark moments. It's not your responsibility to, like, take care of someone, but, like, if you want to try and do that, just, like, kind of try and be there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue now. I'm close to this friend and have seen this reaction more than once, but this time was especially painful as there was another friend to witness it who was just as helpless as I was. I sat with them in the bathroom, head tucked in my shirt, to think. In a moment of desperation, I asked God to take my life for theirs. I love them deeply and hate to see them in such pain. In that moment, I heard a laugh. It came in my right ear and then out the left, but it was all in my head. It was faint, but I knew the voice was the one I had heard previously.
That's frightening.
I have cold chills all over my body. I'm not sure what happened that night, and maybe I made a deal with something other than God, but my friend's depression has got a lot better, and they no longer have suffered from any bouts as such when drinking.
I hope that doesn't, like, cause repercussions down the line, and that, because that's really scary.
It is really scary.
Well, it's like, okay, I know this is a stupid, like, what is it called when you compare two things?
Comparison?
No.
I don't know what word you're trying to find.
Well, it's like Annabelle Creation, where they ask anything out there to help them, and it's just something dark. And
we had an email, too, about that person who had talked to their parent about, like, if they cross over, if they pass away, to send them a sign that they're okay. And then, like, the night their parent passed away, they went home and they're in, like, a child's room with a bunch of toys that all turned on at the same time.
Yeah.
But when it happened, they kind of knew, like, this is not my mom or dad. Like, this is something else trying to pretend.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm seriously covered in cold chills right now.
It's really scary.
It is. All right. Before I move on, some inappropriate shout outs really fast in the middle of this serious subject. Jaxie Babe resubscribed for 5 months. Meadows just resubscribed for 8 months. Thank you so much for following us on Twitch.
Much.
Very much appreciate you guys. All right. So, I'm sorry for the long email, and it's been poorly written, which it really has not, or my mom did an amazing job editing it, or it sounds dramatic, but I thought I would send it. I'm hesitant to tell anyone the story since most of the people think I'm crazy and I'm hearing voices, but I honestly hope I never have to hear it again. I have some more stories to send out, one including an attic, in parentheses, sorry, I'm all about it, and potentially a boomeranging Ouija board, but they are family stories which I will have to confirm. Thank you guys so much and can't wait for all your new episodes, Tina. P.S. Here are my beautiful Omen babies and my sexy AF boyfriend. The first is Cracker, Duke, Fat Ass, a.k.a. Chunky, a.k.a. Bruce, Nix, and Nugget. Last is Anubis, who was recently rescued from our local humane society.
I love those names. They're such good names.
Those are great names.
Yeah,
I really love
really
Anubis. I don't have the pictures on this one, but I will check them out as soon as I'm done with the show. I'm sure they're all absolutely adorable.
Yeah.
And thank you for rescuing, too. Rescuing is super important. Like, one of the shelters where I grew up is at like 100% capacity, and someone shared it on Facebook today, and they're doing adoptions for all dogs for free right now. Like, that's how serious it is.
And plus, it's something where once they get to capacity and nobody wants to adopt, they start putting animals down. So
unless it's a no-kill shelter.
Yeah. So go and adopt, because we adopted our cat, and she is the best freaking cat. I mean, she doesn't like other people, but
she's a great judge of character.
Yeah.
But she's also mean to nice people sometimes too, so it's not exactly accurate. But
well, she was very good with Mariana.
That's true. That's very true.
So she knows cat people.
She does know cat people. She's very picky. But yeah, that's a very, very good story. We definitely hope you didn't sell your soul. And please keep an open line of communication with us if anything creepy happens, because not only do we want to know, but we're also, like, I think I can speak for Robin here, kind of concerned. And we would definitely want to know if something was going on. So, yeah. Good stuff. Great emails this show.
We cannot wait to hear those other stories.
So I think that's everything that we have for the show. This was episode 69. I didn't make any sex jokes.
69.
So sincerely, thank you to everyone who wrote in. We hope you enjoyed listening to your story. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed it. I guess that's a 69 joke. Booyah.
Wow.
If you want to send us your stories, email storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scaryish podcast and message them there. You can also tweet at us @scarishpod, message us on Instagram @scarishpodcast, or go to our website, scarish.com, and click on contact us. Fill that out. It comes directly to us. Robin, if folks would like to donate monetarily, how can they do so?
If you would like to donate, not only during the live shows can you donate on our Twitch channel, but you can go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast. And those are monthly donations. There's a whole bunch of different tiers. There's a physical tier this month for our $50 patrons and above. They're getting a super, like, kind of spooky tea package, which I think is really cool. I actually went out.
She's put a lot of work into this one. She's very excited.
And I've picked specific teas for the specific people that are those patrons. So it'll be fun. When I do those packages, I get really excited, and I do it personally. I go out shopping, or I look for stuff that I want to send these people, and it's very personal. So if you guys want to be a part of that, it's patreon.com/scarishpodcast. Otherwise, you can go to ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast, and those are one-time donations. Those donations go to upgrading our studio setup. If you guys want to help out with that, I think in the future, after our studio setup goal, we're going to do your PC goal. I think that'd be really cool.
Several people have mentioned it, and they were like wanting to donate. Shout out to Ulri. She sent me an Amazon gift card for more money than I could ever imagine sending to a stranger. Even though we're not strangers, we know each other through the show. It's just amazing how much people are very supportive of us. I'm very, I don't know. I understand wanting to support the show, and I understand people wanting to donate. I get like a little bit like, I don't know what the right word is for it, but I don't think you should have to fund my PC. You know what I mean? I am honored and touched that anyone would even think that that's something they want to do. So I'm going to pick specific components that you folks can donate to if you would like to. And everyone who donates, I'm going to have a little tribute to them on my case.
Yeah, so Ulri, you've already got a spot.
Yeah, I already talked to Robin about it. She's like, where are you going to put it? And I gave her a couple ideas, and like, I really think that's a really nice way to remember everyone who would like to donate to it. It's still very weird to me that you folks want to give us money or buy us things. But realistically, I understand that that's just something that's going to happen. And we do need the PC for the streaming purposes, because right now everything runs off of this little laptop, and it's been running so hard for 3 years. And I know at some time it needs a break. It's the little train that could.
Yeah. Is that how that goes? It's a little engine that could.
So awesome. Thank you, everyone, so much. We appreciate every single one of you. We really, really do. And thank you for sending your stories in. And we hope to hear from more of you in the future.
Yeah.
And seriously, if you're going to be in the San Jose area, come and see us Sunday, June 9th. We're going to be very excited to be there. And if you're at E3, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be there too. We're going to be posting a bunch of stuff to social media with the hashtag Windows Insider, right? That's what we were asked to do. So it's going to be a good time, and hopefully we get to meet some of you folks. And I think that's just about everything that we have for episode 69. So, Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.